it's a dream to be able to play music and create a vibe and create moments that people will sometimes never forget. And sometimes people are coming into that nightclub and they're celebrating, you know, milestones in their lives. That when that one song pops on, and all of a sudden it creates this moment that they talk about for 20 years.
All right, welcome back to the Digital Social Hour, guys. I'm your host, Sean Kelly. Got a great guest for you guys today. First DJ on the pod.
Wow, I'm honored.
Yeah, DJ E-Rock.
I'm honored, my man. Hey, can I tell you something real quick? Because I was actually driving here and I was thinking about this, but your name is like probably the coolest name in podcasting I've ever seen. You have 3 first names.
I do.
Which is really amazing.
That's rare, right?
It's very rare. It's very rare.
Yeah, never seen that.
But think about some of like the most like successful like brands. Like, yo, it's like 2 first names. 3. I mean, yo.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
I could start a 3 first name movement.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go. I mean, yo, there's Sean John, which was like a very successful, like, you know, clothing line from Diddy. And, you know, but I mean, come on, man. Like, yo, it's a great name.
Let's do
great
it,
name,
man.
by the
Let's
way.
do it. I can't wait to dive into your world because I don't know much about DJs, honestly.
Okay.
Now, from the outsider looking in, it looks easy. But talk to me about the work that goes in behind the scenes, because no one gets to really dive into that side of things.
You know, I seen this, I don't want to call it a meme, but I seen this clip from another podcast not too long ago. And, you know, how you say that DJing looks easy. Like, you know, a lot of us, you know, I think a lot of DJs, like, you know, could agree. But this clip actually mentioned how you know, it's like playing Tetris at like level like 19, like through like a period of 4 hours.
Okay.
Because you're constantly figuring out, like, you know, okay, what's the next record? What's the next play? What's gonna happen when I do this? Because at the end of the day, if you're looking at like, you know, the grand scheme, I mean, it's a business.
Yeah.
You know, so obviously if you're self-serving, if you're, you know, like only doing things that you want to do because it's like, you know, like, oh, this is my favorite song, but you're not appeasing to the crowd. Like, yo, like you're not going to drive revenue.
Yeah.
You know, so the back end work and especially these days, like, you know, it's became very extensive, you know, in our field. It's become from, you know, and a lot of people have a lot of arguments about like, oh, well, I'm just a good DJ. I shouldn't have to, you know, promote or this and that, you know, and today, like, you know, there's a lot of that checklist has gotten longer.
Right.
You know, not only do you have to be a good DJ, you have to have these relationships. You have to, you know, post. You have to create your own flyers. You have to curate this moment, curate that moment. You know, there's a whole bunch of things that go into it.
Right.
You know, to do this at a high level.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, do you have a set playlist every night, or are you kind of feeling the vibe out of the room?
I would say, like, for me, I would have, like, you know, a safe like 10 minutes that I play that I probably, like, you know, will jumble around and kind of figure out what the room is about. I like to call it, like, you know, like the 10 minutes of texture.
Right.
You know, I kind of, you know, hey, look, I'm dropping these 4 things and I'm going to see what reacts the best. And that's going to be, like, you know, the truth teller of the entire night. But, you know, for the most part, you know, and for DJs that are watching this, like, I'm actually one of the DJs. I don't have crates. I have the worst organizational system of my music completely.
What's crates?
Crates are, like, you know, like boxes that you can create, like folders.
Oh, okay.
You know, folders that you can, like, you know, organize your music in this program that most of us use, which is called Serato. I don't have many of them.
Okay.
You know, I kind of go off the cuff and kind of go, like, you know, with what I'm feeling, but within the confines of what I'm learning while I'm, like, you know, playing that set, you know? So,
yeah. And the hours you're working are nuts, right? Like, you're up till 4 a.m.
Yeah. You know, for me, I would say, you know, I start my day maybe around, like, you know, my DJ day, at least, you know, I do more than obviously, you know, the DJ thing, but, you know, I'll start that day maybe around like 7:30. And it's crazy because I feel like, that 7:30 start time it sets the stage for a good night.
Okay.
You know, what am I doing? What am I consuming? You know, am I, like, you know, and consuming not in regards to just like what I'm eating, you know, obviously you don't want to have the wrong meal and, you know, walk in with a brick in your stomach, you know, that's like the wrong thing to do. But, you know, I'll sometimes sit in the dark, no noise,
Really?
nothing, you know, read, go through music, you know, just kind of vibe out.
Okay.
You know, and that's what I do until like maybe about like 9. I'll shower. Sometimes I'll I'll catch dinner with like, people that want to accompany me to the club, friends, whatnot. And, we'll catch the vibe there, and then it rolls into obviously the set.
Yeah.
And I feel like those like elements for me, and that's what works for me. Like if I can set the stage right, like I'll have like a really good night and a really good set.
Right.
And that turns into return business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How long is a set on average?
Right now, for me, it's about 2 hours.
Okay.
90 minutes to 2 hours. Back in the day, I'm from San Francisco.
Yeah.
We had and there still is a big thriving bar scene out there, but used to do a lot of bars, a lot of nightclubs out there, ran a few actually. But like those sets were sometimes, 4 or 5 hours.
Jeez.
And stuff, I mean, I'm not complaining though. Like, it's a dream to be able to play music and create a vibe and create moments that people will sometimes never forget.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes people are coming into that nightclub and they're celebrating, milestones in their lives. They're celebrating, their birthday, and sometimes when that one song pops on, they're lighting up, and all of a sudden it creates this moment that they talk about for 20 years.
Right.
So I can't be mad. I mean, a 4 hour set, 2 hour set, I'm happy either way,
Yeah. Now, a lot of DJs don't get to the point you're at where you have a residency at a huge nightclub.
Mm-hmm.
What were some of the things you did on the business side that you think led to that for you?
I learned the business side when I used to run a nightclub in San Francisco called, it was named Infusion Lounge.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, I'd say it's probably the most historic nightclub or one of them in the city.
Wow.
For its time. It was the first Vegas driven bottle service nightclub. So
Okay.
I learned a lot from being on the inside, like, having a seat at the table and hearing these conversations from a business standpoint, from, what causes like, big moments to drive revenue, like, or customers and being able to have a following and stuff like that. Or even for the people, I used to do all the bookings there.
Yeah.
And I would learn, how operators would look at each booking. It wasn't necessarily, oh yeah, he's a great DJ, but if he was a great DJ, but then brought nobody or had a bad attitude or whichever, like, there were so many different factors that went into it that made me understand how I needed to be as a DJ.
Right.
I was like, okay, like, these are the benchmarks that these guys have, or the successful guys that I'm booking have. Those are the benchmarks that I want to. Eventually that led to, me, getting, I mean, I've had probably several residencies in Vegas over the last, 15 years now.
Nice.
I'm grateful, for all that. I mean, it's changed my life, but, learning the business side is definitely very important. And, I encourage anybody that's watching this is, to learn that as much as possible. Dive into that. Hey, if you can get a seat at the table, where you can learn the business of DJing, then definitely, dive into that.
Absolutely. Do you think a DJ can make or break a nightclub?
Absolutely.
Because if they're I mean, it kind of kills the vibe, right?
Kills the vibe. You get negative reviews. People talk about it on social media. People don't return.
Right.
People don't want to come back.
Because the music's super important at clubs.
People got to remember that nightclubs aren't an experience.
Right.
They're experiential. You know what I mean? So when you're the captain of that experience, and you're just literally all over the place, and you're not honing in on the needs of your crowd, and look, every club is different. Not all clubs are the same. So obviously every crowd has a different need. But if you're booked for a specific crowd and you're not catering to that need, and those people think that you're completely, then yeah, they're not going to come back.
Yeah, because there's certain clubs that are more hip hop oriented, EDM.
Yeah.
What's the club you're at right now? What kind of crowd is that?
I'm in a few clubs. I have a few residencies through Tao Group in Las Vegas. So I'm at Tao. I'm at Marquee. I'm at Hakkasan every now and then.
Nice.
Where else? Jewel. I'm there, quite often. I'm actually be there. I don't know when this is coming out, but I'll be there on Monday, July 31st.
Nice.
And every club has a different need.
Yeah.
Some are a little bit more, hip hop skewing, or some are a little bit more like open format. Some are more dance driven. It just really depends. Plus, at the same time, it depends on the night.
Yeah.
I feel like in Vegas, like a lot of a lot of nightclubs, like, you know what to expect on this, like a certain night. Like I would say probably like a Saturday night at Jewel will probably be a little bit more open format than it would be on a Monday, even though you could play open format on a Monday. But I know the needs of like a local Las Vegas crowd will probably be primarily hip hop. You know? So, or 80% hip hop.
Interesting. Where have been the craziest sets you've ever played?
Man, obviously here, some I can't talk about, but Vegas is an amazing city. Like, if you learn how to navigate through here and you're in the right places with the right people, it could definitely, show you a great time, and I mean, Vegas is definitely a city. Miami, I've had some, great times out there. I'd probably say top 3 hangovers. Miami is definitely, it's a, great city. Where else, man? Chicago is an amazing city too. Yeah. So I love, actually, I've had some great times and great sets in Chicago at Tao Chicago as well.
Not in LA?
I have had a couple good nights in LA. I don't know. Maybe I feel like LA and Vegas are kind of like the same because I'm so back and forth. But yeah, I used to have a residency at Hyde Sunset. Shout out Frankie Delgado. I've had some great nights there. Avenue, definitely some great nights. LA is definitely up there for sure.
Nice. Have you collaborated with any big artists or anything in the space?
Yeah, I've had residencies with people like I remember early on, T-Pain.
Nice.
I used to open up for like Mustard, Pauly D, Metro Boomin.
Nice.
Before Metro Boomin was really who Metro Boomin is today. Yeah. I'm actually reuniting with that guy for a Lollapalooza after party next Friday.
Sick.
In the Shy. So, Little John, there's so many. I mean, I remember playing a night at Hayes, which is now called Jewel. And we've had like, Kendrick Lamar's first performance in Vegas there, but I've definitely seen a lot. Definitely have shared the stage with a lot of people. There's so many people that I wish I can name off the top of the head, but I mean, I'm sure that if you've heard of them, I've definitely
that's sick.
Definitely played alongside of them.
And that's one of the good parts about the business, right? The networking. You've been able to meet some great people.
Definitely. I mean, through that residency with T-Pain, I was able to put out a record with him.
Nice.
That record is still doing well. It's called Check Out, featuring myself, Mario E, Clayton William, obviously T-Pain. There's a lot of opportunities that come out from doing what we do on a regular basis. And but it doesn't just stop at like the gigs. It's like, going out. It's being out in the streets. It's being out supporting other people. It's being out shaking hands, and kissing babies, like, 24/7, and just making sure that people, but not only that people know who you are, people know how you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of like the success that I've seen has really just came because I'm a good DJ. I think a lot of it came because, I'm just a good person.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And when you're a good person in this business, and people will always say that this business is, it's crazy, it's shady, it's
I've heard that. Yeah.
It's not good and this and that. But if you're a diamond in the rough, and you're a good person, and you're a breath of fresh air, it incites people to want to help you. It incites people to want to work with you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're walking around with a bad attitude and you're arrogant and this and that, I mean,
it's a turnoff.
It's a turnoff.
Yeah.
Who wants to work with people like that?
I wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I also saw you were the DJ for the San Francisco Giants for 5 years.
San Francisco Giants for 5 years. That's where I pretty much started, like, my sports DJing career.
Yeah.
I was there for a minute. I was there for 2 of the 3 rings during the even year Magic era, which was great.
Dope.
Got to walk in a parade, and all that. That was an experience I'll never forget. Today, actually, I still do sports. I'm with the here locally with the XFL Vipers.
Oh, sick!
Which is great. Also with I still do things in San Francisco. I'm the founder of the DJ program for the San Francisco 49ers, which is called the AMP Squad. It's a collective of DJs that not only are probably the best DJs in the Bay Area or in 49ers fandom, but also they're probably the biggest fans in the world. And
San Francisco is?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Or the DJs on the squad.
Oh, okay.
DJs on the squad. So, I still do that. That's about like, 2 to 3 games a year. And, I pilot the program. We're in our 9th year.
Damn.
Right now, which is, a blessing. And, I'm looking to do more, do a little bit. I've done stuff with the Knights out here, Golden Knights, and obviously we know that, Vegas is like a thriving sports market. So hopefully I can expand that footprint out here, like, as more teams come and, more conversations are had.
Yeah. If you could get we're getting MLB and NBA, right? If you could get both of those.
I'm excited. Yeah. You like sports?
I like NBA.
Like NBA? Yeah. Who's your team?
I'm more of a person guy.
I'm more of a person guy? Who's your player then?
You're going to hate this probably, but LeBron.
I don't hate it at all.
Oh, okay. You either hate him or you love him. So
I love. Do you get people on the show that hate LeBron?
Oh yeah.
Really? I mean, I don't understand why he gets that type of hate.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess when you're that good, it's polarizing. Like Jordan got a lot of hate too.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now I understand the whole entire like polarizing debate of who's the GOAT, Jordan or LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, in my eyes, I think it's Jordan. But hey, look, if it's LeBron to you, then that there's no right or wrong to the answer.
It's an opinion question.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
People get so heated over someone else's opinion.
They get really mad, really upset, But hey, LeBron's done his thing. I mean, LeBron may be bringing an NBA team here.
Yeah.
Which will be amazing,
That'd be nuts.
Yeah.
You also DJ'd Barry Bonds' record-breaking home run party. I mean, that's legendary. I got to hear about this.
That was definitely a big turning point in my career. Not only was I like a huge Barry, I still am a huge Barry Bonds fan. And for the record, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't care what anybody says. No, he's not.
Oh, because of the steroid?
The whole scandal. I'll put it like that. So yeah, I DJ'd. I got booked to DJ the celebration party for his record-breaking home run for the all-time record. And man, it was the who's who of baseball in there at the time.
Nice.
And I grew up obviously in the 80s and 90s. So I mean, you had people like Jeter and I mean, dude, the list was crazy. You name it. But I remember there was a moment. I've told this story before, but there was a moment where I was DJing, and it was early in the night. I was excited. I was young at the time. I mean, how many years ago was that?
I was young, man. I remember seeing it on TV maybe like 12 years ago or something.
Maybe a little bit longer.
Longer?
Yeah, I think it's longer because I wasn't in Vegas. I've been in Vegas for 15 years now.
Okay.
So it was before that, but that was a moment that led to me, profile moment that led me coming to Vegas. But I remember DJing, and when I say it was the who's who there, like, I mean, I remember playing records and Reggie Jackson is walking by. Not only that, Reverend Jesse Jackson is walking by. Willie Mays.
Damn.
Like people that like, these guys are legends.
Yeah.
Like not just in baseball, but globally.
Yeah.
Global icons. But there was a moment where I was playing a record and it was very vulgar. And Reverend Jesse Jackson was sitting in front of the DJ booth at the time. And I remember it was, I had no sense back then, man. I was a lot younger, but I was playing a record, had very suggestive content at the time. It was very inappropriate for the hour.
Yeah.
Definitely a mistake. But I remember it said the lyric, and it was really loud. It was in the club. I remember, you think not Reggie, but Reverend Jesse Jackson is in a club, like, with that loud of music. He's hearing everything.
Yeah.
So I remember the lyric, like, was on the loud, on the PA, and he looks at me and gives me this really, like, I wouldn't say evil. He's a reverend, but, really like, yo, what are you playing? Stare.
Yeah.
And I remember I was shook.
Ooh.
I was like, yo, like, that's Reverend Jesse Jackson. And he just gave me, like, the stink eye going, what are you playing right now? It's 9 o'clock at night. You know what I mean?
Did you stop the song right there?
I got out of it pretty quick, and played something a little bit more suitable. But like, like moments like that happen. I remember there was another moment where I was playing. It was like, early 10 o'clock, and and I actually felt bad. But then a lady came up to me and said, "Hey, sir, we appreciate your work, but can you turn it down because Willie Mays can't hear?" And I'm like, "Oh wow, I'm so young at that time. Like, yo, who participates in conversations like that at that age, And I'm like, Willie Mays, like the Willie Mays. Like I'm more moved that like, you know, that he's, you know, here and I'm in the same room as, you know, as him. And it's like, yeah, he can't hear, but if he can't hear, he's going to leave. And he wants to be here for Barry. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. So I turned it down.
Wow.
You know, but yeah, that party was definitely, you know, an amazing experience. I'll never forget it. You know, Barry had a speech, you know, it was the who's who of baseball. Like, you know, it was during All-Star weekend when it was in San Francisco last.
That's legendary.
But it was definitely like, yeah, that was big. That was big.
Yeah,
and,
that's huge.
I've had a lot of moments like that. And, you know, but that one for sure, being a fan. And, you know, I mean, Barry is still, you know, an icon and an idol to me, you know, so being able to do that at such a young age. And I opened up for DJ Cassidy, so I got to share the stage with him. And, you know, we know that what he's done, I mean, he's got the Pass the Mic series online and stuff like that. So
who are like the pioneers of the DJ space? Is there like a few guys that really changed the game?
You know, I think that's a relative question.
Okay.
You know, I think it's different for everybody, you know, because like for me, you know, I have a set of people that changed the game for me, you know, and that inspired me in different ways. You know, like I grew up a Bay Area kid listening to people like, you know, Dave Meyer, DJ Franzen, you know, who is, you know, another big Vegas local out here. You know, he's got a key to the city, you know, but I grew up listening to him on the radio in the Bay Area. I also grew up listening to Jazzy Jim, you know, but, you know, I've had different people at different times that I'm like, yo, that just changed the game for me because it's always evolving. You know what I mean? DJ AM, when I used to open up for him at a club called Aura in Pleasanton, like, you know, there was, you know, a lot of people in that, I mean, that I could probably say that changed the game for me that probably weren't necessarily in the same conversation for other people. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not as like mainstream guys.
Yeah, you know.
Like Aoki's mainstream.
You know, yeah, Aoki's mainstream, and he could probably be a game, and I love what he does, but he's probably a game changer for somebody that's a little bit more, you know, dance-oriented. Like, I don't know much from that space. I do, you know, good enough, you know, good enough of knowledge, but, you know, for me, like, you know, you know, I come from like, you know, that old school, like, you know, 80s, 90s, like, you know, boom bap era, like, you know, where like someone like Jazzy Jeff is like, you know, like I'll still pay good money, you know, to go see Jazzy Jeff, like, you know, live, you know what I mean? And that's something that, like I said, I think it's different for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of money, how good is the money in the DJ space?
It can be great. it can be great. I'm not rich by any means. But hey, look, you know, I've been able to take care of my family for quite some time just doing this. It's not only a thing, and this is the, you know, one thing I wanted to get across about that question was, you know, the money could be good, but the money doesn't have to stop there. You know, DJing has enabled me to open up doors for other opportunities.
Right.
You know, it's enabled me to, you know, have a marketing agency. It's enabled me to, at one point, have a graphic design agency. It's enabled me to, you know, have a concierge company at one point. It's enabled me to dive into other businesses and other spaces. You know, like people wouldn't know this. I mean, I worked at, you know, Shoe Palace for like 6 years, you know, as a marketing, you know, manager. I worked at Zappos, you know, and you know, was a big piece of them evolving their brand with a team that was supposed to, like, you know, dive into the sneakerhead world. You know, people wouldn't, but all that came from me DJing, which is crazy, you know. And I feel like, you know, like DJs could definitely make, I mean, because you're constantly thinking, you're constantly on the fly, you're constantly making plays, and you know, you have to market yourself, you have to figure out how to, like, you know, always elevate yourself, and all those skills could be used to, like, you know, a company, like, you know, to a nightclub. I ran 4 nightclubs in San Francisco. Wow. You know, I still dive in on strategic marketing plays with some of the hospitality companies out here, whether it's through the lens of Culture Kings. I work at Culture Kings today as a marketing guy. Yeah. You know,
how did that happen? Because that's a huge company.
It's a huge company, man. And, you know, I count my lucky stars. You know, I mentioned that I worked at Zappos for a couple of years. I'd say 5 or 6. We opened up a store called Zen in Koreatown in LA. Great store, great space, amazing neighborhood. I still love Cape Town like no tomorrow. The only issue was obviously we launched in the middle of a pandemic,
Right.
and Zappos is an Amazon-owned company, so you would only expect like that they would want the profitability of that company to constantly be up and up and up and up.
Yeah, they're all about their margins.
That's business.
Yeah,
it's corporate. So after that, we ended up closing the company probably I'd say in April, or maybe I got laid off in April, but it closed a little bit down the line. And then I got recruited by a good friend. Her name is Monica Lynn. She used to work at a brand called Popular Demand.
Yeah,
back in the day. And she used to, send me, clothes and shorts and hats and stuff like that. And we've always remained friends.
Nice.
One day, she calls me and she's like, hey, I have something that we could probably work on. And I think that this is probably up your alley. And I had already been laid off. I was, very vocal about it on Twitter. I wasn't upset about it. I was more so making, a joke about it. I was like, hey, look, now I have all this free time. I'm gonna actually enjoy Vegas. Yeah. I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna enjoy my time out. She calls me. She's like, "Hey, I think I have something that we can work on. I want to see if it's something you're interested in, and it's interesting." I'm like, "What is it?" I meet up with her. She shows me this space. It's in Caesars. It looks like a nightclub, and she tells me like this is going to be the future home of Culture Kings Las Vegas. Culture Kings, very storied brand in Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah,
they are the authority in streetwear, sneakers, and whatnot. So obviously this was, in the same vein of what I was doing for Zen and Zappos and even Shoe Palace.
Nice.
Like, throughout my career. At first it started out where it's like, hey, look, we need to thread in, this brand and this company with the local fabric. And, everyone, you are in the right circles. We believe that you could probably be the person to bring the right people in here, that can help us push, the messaging, the gospel out there, And I said yes. And yeah, here we are, pretty much almost we're already pretty looking at our 1 year anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah, we threw a crazy grand opening, had DJ drama, pretty much ushering the soundtrack. I played a little bit. We had a couple locals and stuff like that, but we had pretty much all of Las Vegas in there.
That's sick.
And it was great. It was an amazing night, great energy, and that company is definitely I love the culture of that company more than anything. I feel like a lot of us look out for each other. I feel that, we really see eye to eye on a lot of things, and at the same time, working with the team that I work with, we're all kind of the same, we're all fighting for the same goal. We've all bought in, it feels like a team. It's like an NBA team. People will say for instance, I don't know if there's any Jordan Poole fans listening, I'm a Warriors fan.
Yeah.
And the big thing was, they didn't move Jordan Poole because of his talent or his skill set. They moved him because apparently he wasn't sold or he didn't buy into the system.
Chemistry.
Yeah, but I feel that the chemistry that I have with this company versus a lot of other companies is definitely there.
Nice.
And that's important.
Yeah, super important.
That's important, and it's one team, one dream. You know what I mean?
Love that. Yeah. Man, it's been a blast. Anything you want to close off with, and where can people find you?
I got a lot more that I talk about. Is it okay if I plug my podcast? Okay, so I got a podcast. It's called The Full Convo. Some of your favorite, stars from today, I'd say, someone like Blast, Wiz Khalifa, Big Sean, JID, Dream, you name it, they're all on this podcast. They come by the store. We get to talk shop, a little fireside chat. It's called The Full Convo, or on the Culture King side, it's called Between Takes. You can find that on YouTube, or you can see everything that I'm doing, whether it's something smart or something dumb, on my Instagram at DJ Erock, or and we didn't get to talk about this. I'm on the radio, pretty much full time. You can catch me here locally in Las Vegas on Real 103.9. I'm actually very involved in everything over there. And then also on Fridays and Saturdays on Real 92.3 in Los Angeles.
Love it.
And various stations around the country. So,
killing it, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.